Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the professor from Kingdom 24. I'm just kidding. We're playing a different game now. We're not playing Rise of Kingdoms. We're playing Warpath. I'm at server 7, guys. Server 7. Yeah, so basically, if you follow the channel a little bit, we left Rise of Kingdoms. We've done basically everything in there, and we wanted to join the new game. And Lilith came out with this game called Warpath. Right? It was like, oh, so got another place to spend some stimulus check, so we just joined here. Um, we're currently ranked number 1 alliance here, and we have a bunch of people in the OP family One Piece. So I figure I talk a little bit. As you can see, most of them are One Piece now. We've been in this server for, let's just check our first city here. We came from, I don't even remember where we came from. We came from Toulouse. Right, this is our original city, as you can see, 100 days. So we've been playing this game for a little bit over 3 months. Right, so yeah, I figure I talk a little bit about our history, the history of Server 7 and all the wars I have been in. So we saw the power ranking of the server, alliance ranking. We're number 1. We started this and we've been sticking with it ever since. So look at the kills. The kills is not a good tracker for some reason on the alliance level. So we can look at. I'm ranked number 7. Got 180k. We have a bunch of killers on top here. Aether, definitely psychopath. King bows, longbows. These are some of the strongest players here in server 7. Right, and let's look at individual power here. So this server has been here around 120 days, I guess, since that we are not the first city. Number 1 guy, I'm ranked number 23. I have a decent. I'm pretty strong, I would say. Some of these people like Ghostbur, Tim, very strong at this point. Probably already maxed everything. Me and Da, number 3 ranked. We have Callus at number 2. Number 3 ranked. Me and Da started this. We were in ROK together, so we decided to join here. So yeah, a lot of strong players. I'm currently 14 million power. Spent about like 3,500 USD. In this game so far. Having a green time. So what we've noticed as so when we first joined this game, right? We just we have no idea what to do, what's going on. So me and Da and a few players from my old ROK clan decided to join here, play this game, just to have some fun and just kill everybody. That was the original goal, and we have no idea how to play this game. We just came in, bought a bunch of packs, right? I can show you guys my units here, right? So I have a few as heavies, right? This is pretty strong. Really like this. So yeah, the light tank. So I basically have 5 9-star units here. So we started this game in this city now, Toulouse. I have no idea how to pronounce this, guys, by the way. Uh, you know. So we built our first, and then we decided to fight this city, this other alliance. We started as OP. We decided to fight the other alliance called WIG Warlords. We call them Warlords, or later on we call them Farm Lords, because they are number 1 ranked in the city. And we thought the game is just about, oh, let's conquer this city, and we start killing them. In the beginning, I was running with just 1 super heavy, and I met a few great friends in my alliance. Some of the ones that I've been playing with me for this whole time. Uh, let's see. This guy Shanghua is one of the guys here. This guy. Also, Tease is the one that I met. Death Dealer. These are all the OGs. General Naruto, one of my OG friends who we've been fighting since day 1. Gura joined us as well. 91, and then of course my guy from ROK Rogue. And if we look at this, Andy was the one that was also joined us, and Da was the spiritual leader. Right? He's usually the biggest whale around here, right? So we conquered this pretty easily, and we realized, oh, okay, we killed this level 1 city. They were telling us about level 1. We didn't know what was happening, right? It was a level 1 city. There was level 2s later on, right? After the we conquered warlords, the warlord WLG clan. Uh, we realized that this is when they start opening up the world map. I realized, okay, there are other cities that we can go. Right, so we decided to just focus on Bristol and Manchester. So that was a few of the uh, Bristol actually. That was the level 2 transportation that is at. Right, so we decided to join this city, conquered it, fought a few French people, and we just first of all when we jumped in here, we were fighting these guys called the Cavalry One, right? So they have since then became OPM, right? So when we joined this right here, when we joined this, we fought the OPF. Now they are, I think a lot of them have quit the game, but we took this city basically in about 2 seconds. We jumped in here, we killed everybody because we've spent a lot of money at this point, right? So me, Naruto, everybody was running the super heavy line, right? So this thing in the beginning, we thought nobody was able to is able to stop it, right? So if you look at my officers as well, let's just show you. I already have a few level 60, and this guy was level 60 for a long time, and because when you max him, you also max your main character, right? The Percy. So everybody was running. We didn't know how to play. Everybody was running the super heavy, and we thought, oh my god, we're the number 1 guy. And then we just we conquered this city, and then we jumped to Manchester. We also jumped in Manchester. We were like, yeah, let's just conquer here. This is where we fought the Diamond Dogs, which is now no longer in existence at all. And we've also met these guys from OPM. A few of their guys joined us. So when we first started, we just directly jump on the command center that they were building. There's no way that they can stop us for some reason, you know. So we were pretty dominant around this area. Now after conquer level 2, it is about, I would say, 40 days, 40 days into the game. Um, we started to look at the map as a whole. Now, we didn't know that there was older cities on this side, and we keep getting messages from these HH guys. They were like, "Yeah, we are a coalition, and we're fighting Stargates, these SGCs, which is no longer on the map, unfortunately." But they were number 1. SGC was the number 1 most feared alliance in the entire server, and mainly because they were, as you can see, the city here around here, they are open 122 12 days, right? So this is their starting city. We are at 100 days, so that means they have about 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks of advantage from us. And we can't really go to their cities because once we teleport in, we skip time, right? Once you join an older city, you lose all your events, all your urban events. It's kind of like time traveling. So these HH guys, they were like, we have a huge coalition. It's consists of all and everything, everybody else, and they were fighting. They say that the SGC guys, which is now FF Freedom Fighters, um, are invading everybody, and please help us. At the time, we do have a few whales, but we don't really know what the fuck is going on, right? So we don't know how to play this game. We're just running around with super heavies. And then that is the first war where we get to meet with people outside of England, essentially. So there are these people from, let's see, I'm just gonna look at the ranking here. Now there are alliances called uh, let's see, the H8 is still existing. They were the highest ranking, and there was these AGGR, these guys, Doge, and a lot of other people. They all reached out to us. They were like, SGC is gonna kill everybody, and they just want to rule the whole server, and please come help us. So, at the time, we sent a few whales, and that happened for the first War of Barcelona. That happened around 45 days, 35 days for us when the server opened. And that's where we saw how the game is actually played. Because these FF guys, Freedom Fighter, which was the old SGC, the Stargates, they used to have this side of map. This entire side of map is them, right? All the way here. They run these medium tanks, right? So they use medium tanks, very flexible. Very mobile. Have a lot of flexibility. They each one of these guys were like 6 million. It's like 3 4 million power, and they all have like a 9 star medium tank, and they're just killing everything, right? They're not like huge whales, but they're killing everybody, right? So we lost this war because we sent a few whales, and HH basically their coalition kind of fell apart first day after fighting. They were like, yeah, they just fought first day, and then they just like everybody just left because all their players are getting killed by these like medium tank groups, medium tank army groups, right? So there's nothing they can do. They just runs out, and they just all die. Um, so they left. So this city was conquered by SGC again. They have officially stepped into Western Europe. Um, but they needed to regroup. They regrouped it, and at this time, there is this one group of fighters in OPI. They are the now OPI, but they were called the SOIs before they joined our group. They were the ones who stood up to basically uh, uh, they stood up to SGC, and the leadership is Joker and Two Face. These are two of the killers. They are the brothers. We call the Joker brothers, and also um, a few others. So they were fighting them every single day, right? So they were fighting them. And what happened was they were friends with SGC. They were friends with SGC, right? So in the around 45 days, they were still friends with SGC because they all came from server one. However, they were not really found of Damascus group, which was the group called sorry, they're no longer in Damascus. I gotta jump around to show you guys who they are. They are the OPGs. The OPGs are these bunch of Russians. They were called Old R, the Old Russians. They were basically the Russian group. They were this bunch of people talk about them as the invaders of Europe and America. They were basically invading all the newer cities because they were way older. So these guys jumped all the way to U.S. area, the U.S. regions, right? So, and they are also here around this area fighting everybody because they were part of the alliance, the SG Stargate alliance, right? But they were called Old R. Now, what happened to the Old R is a very interesting story. SGC dropped them from their alliance board for some reason, and Joker from OPI at this point, right, and was the old SOI alliance said that okay, SGC is no longer allies of OPTD. Sorry, they are no longer allies of OPG. So we're gonna fight them because they're bullies. So there is a bunch of other alliances called the Avengers Alliance. So we all march onto Damascus. Now at that time, we still cannot enter these older cities with our group. So we send in a few whales, right? We send in all our higher power fighters. So first day there was like alliances called what they called back in the day. There is a GA, the alliance, the so-called alliance, Avengers Alliance, GA, and everything. There's a few others, and CCCP and whatnot. Right? They're all marching on first day. We erase all of them. Second day, suddenly, ODR changed name to SGDR, right? And then the SGC Min Army came in. Now the SGC back in the day was like the top dog in the server. So they dropped in here, airdropped in here. Same thing. Am group killed everybody. At the same time, suddenly these Avenger groups sees SGC came in. They just folded like a bitch. They folded like chairs, and they just joined SGC and they started attacking HH, in one of their cities. Right, we were like very confused. We're like, I think they attacked them either in Tunis or Alexander. Right, we're very confused. We're like, what the fuck is going on? I thought we thought that you guys are Avengers are fighting SGDR together. How come you folded? You changed side. And with all that running around, and then like we lost again, right? But at this time, SOI became enemy of SG. Now, even though they were coming from server one together, Joker gang didn't really like the way SGC was running shit, because their leadership is kind of like pretty arrogant from my personal experience. Their old leadership, Admiral Thrall and Pennywise, both pretty pretty ignorant, from what I can tell, because they now the second war. There's another big war here, is the War of Kiev. Right, so they started to marching on together. They're like, you know what, you guys are trying to fuck with us. The SG, we're gonna fuck with you. So they march on to OPI. Now this was about 40 something days in the server, right, for us now. So it's about like a week later after the Damascus war. So they destroyed everybody here because there was no way we can. First of all, we cannot march our army here, but they basically took over Kiev. Now, at the same time, we were sending troops to their level one cities, right? So we started to be able to move around a little bit, as our city events is not limited in city one, level one. So we send some there, and then they jump around. We kept fighting in Kiev for a long, long time. I couldn't really tell how long it was, but essentially, after a while, we offered sanctuary to the Joker gang in, basically, when level three opened. We let them in. This is when level three opened, right? So that's it. But we fought for basically weeks over there. We let them in the Edinburgh. So this is basically one of our cities, because we have conquered everything else on the side. We let them in Edinburgh, right? So at the same time, right? At the same time, the Kiev war is going on, and we are trying to defend our cities. We were pretty intimidated by these kind of SGC guys, and so is everyone else, because they kind of go into a city, they kill everybody in the city, and they took their members, and they kind of saying they were a pretty cocky group. They were calling out, be like, hey, you know what? We're gonna take over the entire city, the entire server, and we're gonna destroy everyone, and we will take their active players. Now that's a pretty strong turn off for a lot of people, right? So people started to gathering together. The first group we gathered was this OPD group. They're also called One Piece. What's funny is that we didn't really even talk. So we both spawned in this server. I became friends with them because their alliance is called One Piece. I talked with Luffy, and we're like, damn, we are both One Piece, so let's join force together, right? So we are the first two of the OP family. Slowly, people around us started joining us. We had a war in Marceli, uh, whatever Marcel or whatever. I have no idea how to pronounce it. The location again. We fought some Vietnamese group here, right? So the Vietnamese group is consists of two of the highest power here. We have longbows over here. We're called Kimbows, and we also have uh, Aether, right? These are absolutely killers. We fought them. When I fought them, I usually, when I look back, I said that, he was still a infant, especially Aether. Aether was still an infant in the comparing with who he is right now. Because right now, if you look at his kills, this guy is absolutely crazy. Look, he's number one. So there's no way for me to fight him at this moment, right? But he was a baby. So I was like, yeah, I was killing him when he was a baby, you know. So we conquered this because the group tried to invade Orleans, right? They were under influence of SGC, and they were like, hey, go invade Orleans, and then we kind of but SG is not really helping anyone for some reason, because their level 3 opened earlier, so they just sent these minions over to us. We killed them, destroy them, and basically chased them out. So the Vietnamese group was effectively destroyed at this moment, right? That's about something days, 40 something days, 30 something days after the level 3 opened. Okay, level 2 opened. Now, so there's also another side war that is happening in Warsaw. In Warsaw, there's a group called 3K. Now, the 3K groups are what I call the snakes, right? These snakes, this guy, Liu Bei, Lord Liu Bei, he was communicating with me. He said, oh, our group don't want to fight anybody. We're all about peace. Like we were trying to be mutual. But guess what? They came try to attack us. So they came try to attack us. Um, we had to retaliate because they're snakes. If you just say, hey, you know what, let's fight, I have no problem with that, right? I respect that. But if you're trying to be a snake and you saying you're my friend and you're gonna be neutral, and then you send people to invade us in New Orleans, we're gonna go and we're gonna destroy you, right? So we destroy them. At this time, I think these guys, the SGC guys, still their level 3 has opened, so they started building in level 3, and there wasn't they. I haven't seen them for a while, to be honest. I haven't seen them for a while. I think they were just building. There were a bunch of they were just building. But one of our first U.S. groups, there are some Chinese groups over here, were in Houston. Right when Houston opened, about 40 days ago, they sent the Old R, if you remember, the Russian group started to invading here because OP was fighting some of these TMI groups, which is another faction. Um, we were chasing them out, but then suddenly these Old R groups jumped in, and we are all fighting around here for essentially they dropped a CC here, and we fought. It took us like 4 days to burn their CC. Mostly because they have two big ass whales. They have three big ass whales. They had Coney, they had Grim Reaper, and they also had Hippa. Hippa Nigma. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but these are three. Hippa, I would say, is one of the best players in the in server 7. Not only because he whales, he has a lot of money, but also his control. He's pretty good at controlling. So we've been fighting in Houston for about. This Houston war lasted at least 2 weeks, right? This war lasted at least 2 weeks, right? Because they were invading Houston, we were able to help OPI recover Kiev. Now, this war here, we fought about a week. This is the fight against the mean SGC. And at this point, we are able to join these level 2 cities because we no longer have the limitation here, and we finish all the urban event. So we were able to just, starting to pushing them back a little bit, because at this point, I think I would say War of Kiev and Houston is the turning point and the downfall of SGC, because they're still running their um, they're still running their medium army group around, right? So they still running it around, and at this point we're all like 10 million power, some of the whales, and I'm like maybe like 8 million or something like that. Uh, they still running that, but at this point we know that we have a lot of people have seen what they're doing. A lot of people are doing the same thing. We all have these kind of one units, right? And then form an army group, one units of medium or tank hunters, form our army group, and then just to run with it, right? And we have some of the whales, including me, start to transform into this one one super heavy, and then with a bunch of artilleries, we start transitioning into these kind of base to base play, right? So what we do is we send in, we airdrop here in Kiev War, right? We keep fighting them. There's a bunch of back and forth. We push them, but we push them much easier because we can base to base play. We blow them up in like a few shots. And my trick is of course the skill damage. I don't really know if this is the way to play. So I have my War Machine 5454, and then I also have my the Antonia. Um, so this is my go-to move, right? So we just blow them up. Now we started to see the advantage of the base to base play, because when you play these kind of wars, there's always a objective. You either can burn their flags, or uh, you burn their villages, or you push their cities and send them to the corner so that they can no longer come back, right? The way SGC was playing, or they were still running their medium tank, like it's some kind of the way they play just don't have any objective. It's kind of like, yeah, I can get the most kills. I usually compare them to Allen Iverson. You score the most in a basketball game, but you don't actually win any games, right? You can keep scoring, but you don't win games. I respect that you enjoy the game, but that's just no longer the way to play. So fortunately, we are starting to switch into these kind of uh, we were starting to switch to these kind of um, base to base plays. So that is maybe about 30 days ago, a month ago, right? So that's where the turning point really started. We were able to recover Kiev, and at the same time, HH kind of recovered. HH was this hammer and something. They have been pushed to the edge of the world, and they have recovered from the war with SGC, mostly because we stepped in. Right? I'm not trying to take credit, but this is exactly what happened. The leadership of HH told us, "Oh my God, this is we're gonna get it. SGC is gonna attack everyone, and OP, if you don't do anything, they're gonna kill you guys too." So we stepped in, and this is something that they probably don't know that I know. They made a backhanded deal. After we joined, they got a nap, right? They have a non-aggression pact with SGC so that they can recover while we keep fighting them. So we fought them for a month, and they were recovering. They didn't join any of the wars, even though they said they were our allies. This left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, but I don't really care. I don't really hold a grudge, as long as we're having fun, and they are not really doing any harm to us. I would understand that they asked for a nap because they wanted to recover a little bit, and then at this time they recruited a bunch of people, and they were ready to march onto another level 3 city in addition to their original one, which was Nepalese. They were ready to march onto Cairo. Right, so let's look Cairo. So they were ready to march onto Cairo, and Cairo was originally an SG family level 3. So so this is roughly about 30 days ago. So I hope everybody is enjoying my narrative. I know it's not too graphic, but yeah, I just wanted to record this. I usually do this kind of recordings, so to tell the history. So, put it on the back as a little podcast, right? So that's the history of Server 7 Part 1. So I'll maybe do another part. So I'll talk to you guys later.